Hello, all my low key followers, and thank you for tuning in to my first podcast of Sipping Tea with Kee. I am very excited to be on this journey of blogging and podcasting, and I'm glad that you all are going to be sharing in with me. And I'm going to be sharing with you today my 4 keys to having balance, peace, and a healthy equilibrium. And one of my first keys is learning to purpose. And by learning to purpose, I mean learn to make decisions, learn to make solutions. Like for me, I am a very indecisive person, and I'm usually relying on someone else to make the decisions for me. Whether I want to do it or not is pretty much on me because I didn't make the decision to do what I wanted to do. So I am learning now to put myself first and to do what I want to do for myself. And that is learning to purpose, learning to be on purpose. Make decisions when you all figure out something that you want to do. You come up with the solution. If you can't figure out, if the both of you can't figure out where you want to eat, you make the decision of where you want to go. If you can't figure out where you want to go vacation, you make the decision to where you want to go. The first thing that comes to your mind, go with it. Don't do anything crazy, but go with your gut, go with your instincts. Do what you want to do because in the end, you have to be satisfied with what you're doing. And if you're not satisfied with what you're doing, you're not going to want to put in the effort to make it better. So you want to learn the purpose and do things with meaning. Make the decision. Be honest with yourself. Is this what I want to do? No, don't do it. But you don't want someone else making decisions for you either. So learn to make decisions. Learn to make solutions to problems. Be that person that makes those decisions and someone relies on for those decisions. My next key is, if this is the only thing that I did today, am I satisfied? And most of the time, sometimes, I'm not going to say most of the time, I take that back. But sometimes I do go to bed and I don't feel like I accomplished my day. And I don't sleep well. And I just feel like I could have done better. But when I use my time wisely, because I write and do blogs and model and do all these things and still work on top of that, I have to find time for all of these things. And I always felt like I needed to write lists and I needed an agenda to feel like I was getting things done. I felt like that, it kept me in line to where I needed to follow this list in order to get everything done for the day. And most of the time, I was not even following that list. I would look at that list and then I would write another list for the next day. And everything would just carry over until everything was eventually done. And one thing that I've learned is that we need to have at least 2 to 3 things on our to-do list. It's okay to make lists. I'm not saying don't make lists. It's okay to make lists. But you want to make sure that when you're making these lists, that you are putting purposeful things on this list that you really need to do, that they are important things that you are doing. Don't just make things to do, to avoid doing something different. You always want to make sure that you are doing what you need to do to elevate you in your career, whatever you want to do. Make sure that it's something important that needs to be done for that day. And that brings me to my next key, my third key of, are you inventing things to do to distract you from doing the important? Because most of us do that. Even with the list, the agendas, we feel like, okay, I'm making this list, this is what's important. Everything else can fall in where it fits in. And that's not true, and it's not healthy either. So we want to make sure that you're putting the most important things first. I have spent so much time on making lists and trying to follow these lists that I feel like I have a whole notebook of just things to do. And I could probably count how many check marks or on those things that I needed to do that did not get done. And I was thinking about everything but the most important. And I was not putting myself first and doing really what I wanted to do. And when I'm not accomplishing anything, nothing at all is getting done. So you do want to make sure that you are doing the most important, because when I go to bed, I want to sleep peaceful. Everybody wants to sleep peaceful. I don't want to think about what I didn't do today or yesterday that I'm going to have to do the next day. Like, I don't want to think about that. And I always want to go to bed satisfied. So everything that I do, I make sure that it is done to the best of my ability. And it's something that needed and necessarily needed to be done. It was most important to me, to my goals, to my purpose. Everything was beneficial to me in that day, in that time. I needed to do it. It needed to be done. I did it. I did it well. Check that off the list. Move on. I'm a fan of motivating. I'm a fan of purposing, and everything that I do has to have purpose. If it doesn't have purpose, then it's pointless of you doing it, because you're just doing a meaningless task that wasn't important to you and didn't help you for that day. So you want to make sure that you are doing things that are satisfying, and when you go to bed, you sleep peacefully. I like that. I hope you do too, because that's the only way that you're going to find what it is that really matters to you and everything that you want to do. So my fourth key, my last key, is having and maintaining a low information diet. And I would get advice from so many people, and sometimes I would take heed to it, and sometimes I'd be like, how can you tell me anything when your life is no better, or you going through this situation and you're not making the best decisions about it when it's clear you should be doing something else. So you want to make sure that you're maintaining a low information diet. Watch who you get your information from. And I have started listening to, I listen to YouTube, YouTube a lot for motivating speeches, podcasts, on things that I actually want to do. You want to make sure that the information that you're getting is useful to you and what you want to do. It's time out for gossip and just want to sit on the phone and, have meaningless conversations. Be respectful of your own time. Be respectful of yourself, and know that whatever you are doing, it matters. So if I'm spending all my time on Facebook, how am I getting anything done? If I'm spending all my time on the phone talking to someone, how am I getting anything done? And multitasking is good, it's great, but you're still distracted from what it is that you're really doing. Yes, I try to multitask. I say that I can, whether I can or not, it happens sometimes, but I still try. But I'm not giving that one thing my full attention. And sometimes it doesn't come out as good as I want it to. So I have to focus on one thing. And again, limit the distractions. I've said this numerous times, limit your distractions. Your distractions is what's keeping you from focusing on yourself. And sometimes we don't focus on ourselves because we're so focused on what's going on around us, or what this person is doing, or what this person has, that we're not focusing on how we can elevate ourselves and probably have the same thing. So you want to maintain a low information diet. I know that for myself, I have, like, some of my biggest motivators and motivational speakers are T.D. Jakes, Oprah, and Tony Robbins, and Eric Thomas. I listen to these podcasts and I watch these YouTube videos, and something motivating is always in my ear. You always want to make sure that you're listening to something, writing something, and reading something positive each day. And it helps. Like, it really does help. And I try to, I try to follow that. I haven't written in a while, but at least in my journal I have not. But these things do help when it comes to finding your balance, having your peace. Because you're so, if you were as focused as you were on yourself as opposed to the things that are around you, you will be accomplishing so much more. You want to follow your dreams, follow whatever it is that you want to do, because when you do that, you're finding your purpose. You will eventually, you'll feel it when it's something that you really want to do and you're not doing it because you're scared of failure. You will never do it unless you just go out and just do it. That's when you are going to find what you really love. I was so scared of doing any and everything, like all the time. And I would start some things and not finish, and or I would do something and not feel like, I was good at it, or, I could make something of it. So I always stopped. And as you would know, I never accomplished any of those things that I really wanted to do. And I never felt like I was good enough to do anything. So I didn't try. I didn't put in the effort. And I had to start loving myself. I had to start believing in myself. And I had to know that it didn't matter whether someone was telling me I was good at it or not. If I felt like I was good, then I went for it. If I felt like I could make something happen, I would do it and I would go for it. And that's what we have to do. You have to be purposeful. Make sure that you're doing what you love. It's so easy to back out of something, but how hard is it to stay in something that you really want to do? And we always complain about what we have or what we don't have, but you don't have it because you didn't go for it. And if you go for the things that you want, you can have any and do anything that you want to do. So I'm finding that when I'm focusing on myself, when I'm following my passion, that I am so much happier. If that means losing friendships, breaking relationships, or, quitting a job or any of that, like, I'm willing to do it because some things are just seasonal. And I'm learning that not everything is meant for you or me. We have to just go with it and not rely on other people or other things to satisfy us. We're looking for outside things to satisfy the inner us or me, you. And we need to start loving ourselves. Start loving the person that you see. Start loving the person that you see in the mirror every day. And one thing that I challenge you to do for the next week is to look in the mirror and tell yourself, I love you. I am proud of you. I am proud of the things that you are doing. And really mean that. Because for some people, it's hard to do. Like, how many times do you congratulate yourself or even tell yourself, I appreciate you? I appreciate me. I appreciate, the things that I am doing and the effort that I'm putting in to get things done or to do what I want to do. I've always wanted to model. I stayed in front of a camera, but I let relationships and, outside distractions kind of take me away from it. And I never went forward with it. I never accomplished anything from it. And here I am again. I love writing, and I never wrote a book, or I never put any effort into taking it to another level. And now it doesn't matter whether you're starting now or you started 2 years ago. What matters is that you started. And I am getting like I'm very tired of people like talking, because I listen to people all the time and I hear conversations about things that they want to do, and everything is just a conversation until you do something. Nothing is going to get done until you do something. People spend so much time at the starting line that they don't hear the gun that goes off telling them to run. And if you miss that, how are you ever going to chase your dream? Everybody's in the rat race, but who's stepping out of the box and thinking for themselves that this is what I want to do? This is another year, and people make resolutions for things that they probably made last year, or some things that they probably shouldn't be trying to reach for it anyhow. But they do it because the resolution is supposed to signify, okay, a new beginning. Every day is a new beginning that you wake up. So you should be taking advantage of the day. Take advantage of your time. Take advantage of your resources. Take advantage of everything that you are doing. And you will find that when you put in that effort, when you put in that time, you are putting forth that ending to your purpose, to your goal. That's all you want to do is reach your goal. And you have to make sure that you're doing the things that you need to do to get there, because that's what we want to do in the end. We all want to be rich or wealthy. You never want to be rich because money goes away. You want to be wealthy and, have it for a while. Yeah. But you do want to maintain a healthy equilibrium. We want peace. We want balance. We want to make sure that some people want to keep up with the Joneses. I mean, I want to be comfortable, I want to be successful, but I know my limits. You have to know your limit. And some people live beyond their means trying to impress and trying to, show off when they don't have to. Because what's done in the dark comes to light, and you are more embarrassed by a lie than your truth. Be truthful, be honest, be you, and everything will eventually come together and your goal will be accomplished. I'm so proud of myself for, going for the modeling and going for, being a podcaster or blogger and just putting the things that I love first. I'm thinking about myself first, and guys, I cannot tell you how happy I was. I was like a kid in a candy store when I posted my first blog. And I was so happy that, I was getting good responses from it. And it has a lot to do with me believing in myself and believing that if this is what I wanted to do, then I could do it. I was so frustrated with the website. Like, so many days I have sat in libraries or sat in Starbucks, sat in Barnes and Nobles on so many days, so many long nights trying to put together a website, because I'm not a tech person. I'm not whatsoever, and I couldn't figure it out, period. But I got it together, and it's coming together, and it's gonna continue to grow, and it'll be better. And I know things get better over time, so I'm not rushing the process. You rush the process, and it comes out sloppy. It just comes out sloppy. And I'm one of perfection, and I wanted it to be perfect, but I know that I need to work with what I have. And I'm happy with the outcome and the responses that I'm getting from my work. I am very happy. So I do have takeaways that I do want you to think about. And one is, do look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself that you love yourself. Like, really look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, I love you. I am thankful for you. I love you for all that you are doing, all that you are going for. Talk to yourself. I mean, if it helps, write to yourself. I told my friend to, write a letter to herself, telling herself what she thought of the person that she was. It lets you see what you really think about yourself and how you feel that you can accomplish what you want to do. Because we all struggle with just believing in ourselves, that we don't even start to even cross that line of being in the race. And we all want to be in the race. But some of us, we all want to work for ourselves. How are you going to work for yourself when you would rather go home, sit on the couch, watch TV, and be on social media, on Facebook all day? Like, how does that equal, being free? It doesn't. You're not following your passion. You're not, motivating anyone around you. How are you getting ahead? You're not. Period. Another thing is listen to your intuition. Listen to yourself. The first thing, because sometimes we do things and then we second guess ourselves. Don't second guess, just do it. Go with your gut and follow that. That is something that I'm learning. I am learning, but I'm doing good with going with my gut instinct. Because sometimes someone will ask me a question, I'm like, well, this, but wait, hold on. Maybe it's that. But then it's really what I'm thinking, the first time. So go with your gut, go with your instincts, go with your intuition, and follow what you want to do. Make sure that you are following your gut. You want to be purposeful. And the only way you can do that is by listening to yourself. Listening to yourself and following what it is that you want to do. And one of my last takeaways is maintain, keep your low information diet tight. I love my podcast. I love YouTube. I'm not saying that I don't take advice from anybody, but I'm just saying that I am careful of what advice and what I let people put into my head. I am very conscious about that because some people are not for you. Some people will tell you things just to see how you react or to see you, they want to see you fail. They absolutely want to see you fail, and some of them are jealous of the things that you are doing. And it doesn't matter to them whether, you have a great thing going on. If they can sabotage it, they will. And you have to be mindful of who you are allowing in your space. Be mindful of who you are letting give you information. It's okay to listen. It's okay to listen. But you want to be sure that you aren't allowing what they are saying. If it's not positive, it doesn't matter. You don't need the negativity. You want something that's motivating. Always have people around you that can motivate you, that can help to elevate you. Have circles of friends that are motivating. It's okay to have friends and to, just have conversation, but you want to make sure that you are maintaining a low information diet. Someone who's going through a terrible situation can give you advice on how to handle yours. Don't let people dictate how you maneuver in your own life. Be your director of your own life and only share information with the most important. Everyone doesn't need to know what you're doing. Let them see what you're doing when it's done. Don't talk about what you're doing and, people take your ideas or they talk about what you're doing, and that's when you have to grow that thick skin to not care what someone else is thinking about what you're doing. And I struggle with that a lot because I cared what other people thought about what I was doing, or if they were gonna like my photos, or if they're even gonna like this podcast. But honestly, some are gonna like it and some are not gonna like it, and that's just the way things work. And you just gotta deal with it. You'll have more people that like what you're doing than the people who don't. So I grew that thick skin, and now I'm doing what I love, and I maintain that low information diet. I do things with purpose, and I'm satisfied when I go to bed most days. Things do take time and it does take work, but you have to be dedicated to yourself. You have to be dedicated to your goals, to your dreams. You have to be dedicated to everything that you are doing to get to where you want to be. You hear that gun, you're supposed to shoot off. Be purposeful and learn to do things with purpose. And you will find that you will be so much happier in the end. So thank you again for tuning in to Sippin Tea with Kee. And this is that first podcast, and I will see you guys on the next one. Thank you for tuning in.